So Chris Evans, again, he came out of the gate as a freshman playing well, and you saw him kind of find his groove as a counter to Karan. What about him in the offseason? What did you kind of tell him heading into this next year you wanted him to improve upon?
So same with Quran. There's a lot of stuff, and it's never like, hey man, get this one thing right. It's a laundry list of things. And the great thing about those guys is they want to be coached, and they're their own toughest critics. So they're looking for lots of things to work on. And so for Chris, the main things. He had a lot of room to improve with his off arm, so the arm that's not carrying the ball, in terms of using it and protecting his body and stiff arming and being able to manipulate defenders a little bit, or use it to protect the ball as well. His strength and trust in his technique and protection, and then you charge him with that, and then he comes back at the end of the summer and he's just strapped up. I mean, he's completely yoked, looking really good. So. I mean, he's a guy who takes the challenge, puts it on his plate, and just destroys it. And so that's what makes working with those two guys so fun, because they crave that, and then they challenge each other, and then they bring all the other guys along with them.
One of the things that we saw at different points of the season, and I think was it the Rutgers game? I can't remember which game it was, where he catches late in the season. He catches a pass, scores a touchdown. And I remember coming out of high school, that was one of the things. At one point, people were talking about him maybe being a slot. He was such a good receiver. Do you feel like that part of his game is something that he's ready to show more of? Now, especially now with Khalid being out as the pass catching fullback, he's not here anymore. You're going to be looking for a pass catching element out of the backfield. I'd say a fullback can't do it, but seems like Chris Evans would be a guy that could maybe pick up some of that slack.
Yeah, you're definitely right about that. He has tremendous hands and ridiculous ability to stick his foot in the ground and change direction. So when you talk about route running, at the top of a route, being able to have his hips and shoulders going one direction, and then really violently and radically drop his weight and get going a different direction. I mean, it's really uncanny, the separation he can create. And then he has great hands, so you get him the ball. And then what he can do with it is scary. So that's certainly something that I would anticipate him being more utilized in that role, which also will just come with playing more snaps.
Right.
But I'm excited for it. You don't need to overcomplicate it with with either of those guys. If you get them the ball in their hands, they're going to break tackles and they're going to gain yards.